Hi there folks, Gareth here, and this is the Vodafone Smart Platinum 7 in a no-frills box. But if the closer you look at it, you realise that it's a lovely box because it's got really sharp edges here, and there's a Vodafone mark there, just subtly put in there. So I'm guessing recyclable packaging, very environmentally friendly, and just what we need in this day and age. So on the back we have it's an Android 6.0 device. It's got 5.5 WQHD, that's a wide quarter HD display, which is AMOLED. It's got 16 megapixel autofocus rear camera and an 8 megapixel selfie camera. It's got a 3000 milliamp hour battery, an octa-core processor, which I believe is 2 quad cores, one of which is 1.8 gigahertz and the other is 1.2 gigahertz. And it's got 3 gigabytes of RAM inside. Actually, that's not mentioned here. It's 4G plus, which is 300 megabits per second, 6.9 millimeters wide, 32 gigabytes of storage, plus it's expandable with micro SD, a fingerprint sensor, and it's got quick charge 3.0. Awesome. So just a little bit of blurb out there, and it's recyclable packaging. Vodafone.com Smart Premium 7. So Vodafone has brought a bunch of different smartphones to their line, which uses the tag smart, and they are very value conscious. This one, to buy on its own, is about £300, I believe. However, there's all kinds of contracts and things that they probably would prefer you to get it on, but the value of the phone is about £300. So taking a closer look, there is the device on the top. Come back to you. And this has been unboxed before, not by me. Some screen protectors that were probably originally attached to the device. That looks like a SIM card ejector tool inside a piece of chocolate, which is actually just cardboard but a nice bronzy colour. It is a SIM card ejector tool. And we have a safety warranty information and getting started with the Smart Platinum 7 pamphlets to go along with it. We won't be needing those. And we got some other things in here, some goodies. What could they be? We have a charger and a micro USB cable. It's about 1 meter long. So to the device itself. Well, it's got a 5.5 inch screen, as it mentioned on the back, and it's all glass. It's lovely. Actually, it's really very lovely. It's gorgeous. I didn't expect this to be quite as lovely as this. I'm really quite impressed. Initially, you know, it's a wee bit weighty, but not enough to be off-putting. It has enough weight in it that it actually looks lighter than it is. Yeah, it's okay. Well, going around the device, we have some antenna marks on the top there. There's a 3.5mm headphone jack, a microphone just beside it, and then down this side we have some textured buttons, the volume rocker, and then a power button there. And nothing on the rest of that. On the bottom we have another antenna connection, or antenna bit, then a micro USB connector there, and a microphone hole at the bottom. Then on this we have nothing all the way up to a hole for the SIM card ejector tool, the SIM card tray, which is beautifully flush, and then, oh, maybe that's the power button. Well, there's another button there anyway. So there's 4 buttons in total around the outside. Then on the back we have the 16 megapixel camera with a flash, LED flash at the side, and the fingerprint sensor, which is actually quite hard to find. It might seem odd, but the ridge around it, the ring around the outside of it, isn't too pronounced. If you have a look at, say, the Nexus 6P, which obviously is in a case, but it's quite embedded down into the device. This is almost flush with the device, but with a a very slight ring around it so that you can find it. It might be quite difficult to find in moments of rush, but we'll see. And then it's black glass. If we look carefully, we can see a bit of a pattern to the glass. It's a dotty pattern underneath, and then a subtle Vodafone logo at the bottom, which is in the smoked glass. Yeah, it really does look very nice. It's very, very sleek. There's a little bit. It comes up just a bit above the edge, so there is an extra millimeter just here, which gives you a kind of rounded feel here. It really is quite luxuriant. It's lovely. And then on the front we have some front-facing speakers. There we are. If I can just somehow manage to pull focus on that, you can see a small speaker grill just along the top there, and we can see the camera and some sensors just below it. There's quite a thick black bar here for a bezel, but there's a very, very slight bezel just to the side, so it does come in, I suppose, whenever you include the ridge of the edge of the case to the screen. It's maybe about half a centimeter, but it looks like the screen does come right up to the very edge of what's available to it in the bezel. And then of course there's a speaker down at the very bottom here. We can see some interesting architecture here where the device is actually laid into the case. You can see the very bottom of the black glass. Then beside that is almost a small metal shelf which has the speaker built into it, and then the case just below that as well. So it's almost like there's the case, then the speaker is set in, and then the glass is set on top of it. It's very nice. Beautifully made, beautifully made. Then for the camera files, we'll go right in. That's what we have printed on the camera: f-stop 2.0, HDR, PDAF, and 1.12, whatever that is. Okay, so let's turn her on and see if there's any juice inside her. We've got some Android goodness going on. So while this is booting, I'll give you a quick rundown of the specifications that are inside it. It's got that Qualcomm, I think it's a 652 processor, which is the octa-core one. It's backed up by the Adreno 510. I'm wearing my headphones and I'm picking up a little bit of interference from the radios. Oh, I do apologise for that. That's going to be, depending on what you're listening to it on, it's going to be quite deafening. I'll hold it away for a minute until it's finished getting all of its information, because we're getting a full 4G signal here, which is absolutely unheard of in my neck of the woods. I'm very impressed by that. Very well done, Vodafone. You've got 4G. I used to be on Vodafone and I couldn't get a signal in my house a couple of years ago, so I moved to 3 and got virtually no signal, but still a little bit more. There's 32 gigabytes on board, and there's 3 gigabytes of RAM, which I think I've already said anyway. So we'll try and connect to Wi-Fi so we can turn off the modem and not deafen the viewers. Okay, I'm just quickly setting up Google and things like that, because while there's no interference going on right now, the microphone I have attached to the camera here is picking up the modem quite badly. I'll have to do something about that in future. Okay, so we are signing in. You can hear the crackle. And there's my other Google devices saying, "Hey, are you signing in from something else?" Okay, so we're set up, and I went back and I changed it to Wi-Fi because the sound of this was just far too horrible to listen to. Okay, so we're going to set a fingerprint to the fingerprint reader on the back and unlock with a fingerprint, and the benefits that it has. Choose your backup method. We'll go with a pattern. Draw an unlock pattern. Okay, just that'll do. There you go. Locate the fingerprint on the back of the phone. There we go. Okay. We'll set it up as a new device. I don't want to use any of those other ones. And experience, blah 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 blah. Okay, welcome to Vodafone. Vodafone do obviously have branding on this, so they'll install their own apps, and hopefully there's some nice ones. We have Call Plus and Messenger Plus, My Vodafone and Wallet. Okay, doing everything I can to get back onto Wi-Fi there. We'll set up the Vodafone stuff later on. So, what do we have in the way of intrusive stuff? That's enough. What do we have on the device? Well, we have accessories. I'm guessing this takes us to some kind of store for us to buy things for the device. Cases, headphones, that kind of car holders. And a screen for the M8. And an impact mesh for the M8. Okay, so stuff for the M8, you can buy that for a device that you don't have, and you can buy headphones as well. Okay, calculator, standard stuff. The Call Plus thing, that's, you can make and receive calls from your web browser, connect to the web access view. Okay, so it's a function of integration of your computer's web browser with the phone, so you don't have to take out your phone every time you can use your computer. That's a simple idea. The camera, Google Cardboard, Chrome, clock, contacts, docs, everything's fairly standard. There's an email client. We have gallery on this. Google Plus, Message Plus, and messaging. So messaging needs permissions for phones and contacts. Okay, I'm guessing the Message Plus is a bit more like the Calls Plus, that allows you to send things from a web mail client. Add new group and new chat. You can chat from your web browser. Okay, that's fair enough. News and weather's notes. Outlook is on here. It's quite nice. An FM radio. Sheet, slide, sound recorder, start, tips, and video player. Okay, so we'll have a look and see what start does. Did you know you could find, the device is heating up quite nicely. I can feel quite a bit of heat coming off the back here. Primarily over here, that must be where the processor is. Yeah. You can receive notifications and blah blah blah. Right, so it's one of the rewards type apps that get you free or discount on broadband, that sort of thing. Fun. Sky Sports, Spotify, okay, all that kind of stuff. And finally, what was the other thing we want to look at? Tips. Expert tips. Removing apps, adding widgets. Just basically how to use your phone. Very nice. Okay, well, we'll see what's new. We've got some updates there. You can open your settings by pressing that. We'll have a quick look and see what we're running on the phone. Android version 6.0.1. We'll check and see if there is an update. There is, okay. We're not going to do that right now because it might be, yes, it looks to be a larger version of Android, although it's saying 6.0.1. I bet it's 634 megabytes. We'll do that later on in time for the review. What do we have in the top menu to play with? NFC obviously on board there, which is on by default. Storage of the 32 gigabytes. 851 megabytes used of 23 gigabytes. Okay, so total. So Android seems to be occupying about 9 gigabytes, or Android on Vodafone's bits and pieces occupying about 9 gigabytes. It's a wee bit painful, but that's what we come to expect now. Going that way gives us our tips instead of Google Now. Going that way we have stay in control. Just shortcuts to all their bits and pieces. Oh, net performance for measuring your speeds on the go, and more cards. Alright, so we're going to have a quick check of the camera. I have a muffler here from my camera because I'm not using it outside. And we'll bring up the camera. Grant camera access. Yes, please. Okay, so if we're okay. We'll try. Okay, so we've taken a picture of that. We'll throw in there's a camera battery as well, just to try and confuse it, add a bit more depth of field. Well, I suppose it's not the biggest challenge. What we'll do is we'll turn off some of these lights and see how it manages. It's a wee bit dusky outside, so we'll see how it does. And then we'll try one without the flash on, just to really get it going. It's not like a good old-fashioned nighttime picture. Oh, I thought I turned the flash off. Okay, so I was quite impressed by the speed at which the camera took those pictures. They were almost instantaneous, and it's autofocus as well. It's not fixed focus, but it was, that shutter speed was about the same as a fixed focus camera might do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get this all updated and start using it as my main driver for the next week. See how we last with it, and I'll let you know. There'll be a review up in the next 2 weeks on techaddicts.uk, and that's been the Vodafone Smart Platinum 7. I'm really impressed with it thus far. It looks great. Thanks for watching.